Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather. 10-14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to the 15th of April, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with its CFS and ECM ensembles. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for May at the end of the video. That's going to be quite interesting, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first. Video releases are 670 UK weather forecast, and we've also released GWV Friday. Check out today's two vids if you'd like to that. Like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. Right, let's start off with BC. We've now reached 10 degrees. Look at this, 10.1, which is 2.2 degrees above 61 tonight on the average. That visual to yesterday, to the 4th of April. Very, very mild, if not warm start to April. Let's get a further boost tomorrow when temperatures will be into the upper teens Celsius. So I wonder whether this could get into the 11s actually by the time we push on into next week. Will be interesting to see. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Now we've got our first sort of heat spike of the season coming up tomorrow. See the upper air temperatures there pushing up to about 15 degrees at 858 degrees. Doesn't stay there for very long, comes back down again quite quickly, but nevertheless quite a significant push up in the temperature. I think we can say that's probably the first heat spike of the season and of the summer. By the time you get through to the early part of next week, we're actually a little bit cooler than average, but not for long. Temperatures are picking up again. Overall, this does look a very mild, if not quite warm, first half to April. Beyond that, into second half of the month, possibly going closer to average, although there is a lot of scatter in there. Now, as precipitation is concerned, quite interesting. So the next few days are going to be relatively dryish actually in the south. Not completely dry, but there's quite a bit of dry weather. Next week looks more unsettled again, I think, particularly through the middle and second half of next week. But beyond that, we could well be seeing a bit of a drying trend opening out. And overall, that ensemble graph doesn't look as unsettled to me as what we've seen over the past several weeks of months. So I think we might be gradually and slowly but surely starting to inch our way something a little bit drier. Temperature anomalies from the 5th to 13th of April above average, mild wind jump. And precipitation anomalies wettest in the north, going closer to average down in the south. That might be the first, might, emphasis on the word might, be the first hint of a change, something a bit drier, maybe, as we approach the middle of April, and particularly so for more southern area. But in the north, it does look very unsettled still. Latest weather map from earthnawschool.net shows we've got Storm Kathleen. There she is, Kathy. Storm Kath. Way to our southwest. Check this out, everyone. Kathy is going to be with us tomorrow. That's quite a significant feature, doesn't she? No, Kathleen is going to be giving us a proper old blow tomorrow with 70-mile-an-hour gusts around Atlantic and Irish Sea coast, inland gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Won't be a lot of rain with Kathy, except in the far north and west, I suspect. And actually will quite unusually be quite warm. If we zoom out again, you see it's quite unusual low, because ahead of it, you see how the wind is originating from down here. So these southerly winds are pushing up from like Canary Islands, just there. Azores, Madeira, well, Azores is there, of course. Madeira, maybe, just there. I need to brush up on my geography a little bit. But anyway, you get the idea that southerly with Kathleen, coming from a long way south. So it will be windy but warm tomorrow. We may well get our first 21 degree temperature, 70 Fahrenheit temperatures of the season. And of course, that is where the spike, the heat spike, is coming from there. So all a little bit unusual what's going on with Kath. And we'll keep you updated in the 6 AM forecast tomorrow. Okay, let's start getting chart data. Every so much UK Met Euro run is talking. So we've still got the remnants of Kathleen to the north of Scotland there, midnight on Monday. Thermal low pressure pushing through into Tuesday. That keeps it unsettled for the early part of next week. And then higher pressure starts building up from the south. From the middle part of next week, start to turn things a bit drier from the south And should be relatively mild or warm with that winds wafting up from a southwesterly direction as well. So the trend through next week is something drier and relatively mild, if not quite warm. Icon, again, looking unsettled for the early part of next week. Keeps it unsettled into the second half next week as well, with Icon just at the very end, midday next Friday. Signs of the Azores high starting to ridge a little bit from the southwest. The KMA, all much of a muchness through the early part of next week. The unsettled weather continues. Pressure is building though from the south through the last stages of next week and into the middle part of the month, but then low pressure comes back in again. So KMA not settling things down up to the 17th of April there. GFS midnight run, all much of a muchness through the early part of next week, with low pressure being further wind and rain. We keep it unsettled through the second half of next week, gradually building higher pressure up from the south. By the end of next week and into next weekend, turning drier from the south and relatively mild, if not quite warm as well. Flattening off ridge up toward day 10, going into rather cool and showery northwesterly flow, and then high pressure really making its move into the second half of April. So it takes a long while to get there, but eventually, look at this, by the 18th of April, we are under not just a ridge, but an actual area of high pressure then, and we keep the high pressure dominating right way to the very end. It starts to pull out to our northwest, so introducing a bit of a cool northerly flow by the 21st of April. Of course, that is a very, very, very long way off. But GFS 6 then, once more looking really unsettled through the early part of next week. Heavy rain and further strong winds to come. Then high pressure starts building up from the south temporarily later next week before getting flattened off. So up to day 10, pretty mixed really. Quite cool, even quite cold actually at day 10, 15th of April there with a northwestern flow. However, check this out, GFS 6 is also building pressure in the extended. So, I mean, that looks really nice by the 18th of April, 1035 millibar, big area of high pressure parking itself right over top of the country, and that carries on to the end of GFS 6 as well. But just what we're looking for if you want to dry things out. Certainly I do, get out in the garden. No, that's just what we're looking for. Several days of sustained dry weather. It should be relatively warm as well. High pressure has built up from the south, so it should be a warm high, lifting the temperatures well into 15 Celsius. So very, very nice conditions there into the second half of April. But, of course, that's all extended, so therefore unreliable. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And show it to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Show it to everybody for doing that. Around 20 subscribers will get us to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub to your friends and family to subscribe, it'd be amazing. Let's get our first 100 within 18,000. Thank you so much, everyone. GM, again, with low pressure in the ascendancy, in control for the early part of next week. Raising the heights a little bit to the south through the second half of next week. Should turn the southern part of the country drier. Still probably a little bit unsettled though up in the north. Keeping it under, or turning more unsettled again, actually as we get towards the middle of April. And quite a cold northwesterly blast there by 15th of April. Could that be heralding a ridge? So certainly seeing a ridge building in the Atlantic there. So could that be heralding this ridge to start moving in from the west behind that northwesterly, and possibly setting up an area of high? Could that be on the way? Second half of April. And then the ECM, it looks like this. So again, very unsettled on Monday, with low pressure dominating the scene, keeping it unsettled through the early part of next week, gradually raising heights to the south through the second half of next week. Not really settling down though, and up to day 10, again looking quite cool, even quite cold actually, and unsettled and showering winds in from the northwest. But could this area of high pressure be on its, or this ridge I suppose, could that ridge be on its way in and about to form an area of high pressure into the second half of April? This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. There's all the rain associated with Kathleen, particularly in the northwest tonight and tomorrow morning. Very little getting down into the south and the southeast. Temperature tomorrow is drier, but also windy as well. There will be showery bursts in the west, and most showers becoming more widespread overnight Saturday into Sunday. Sunday with further showers across the country, then bouts of rain coming in from the Atlantic through the early part of next week as well, keeping the unsettled weather going. Second half of next week, another big massive rain coming in from off the Atlantic as well. Going to be an unsettled week next week, definitely. and it takes until around day 10 to start drying out, and then we've got that northwesterly, so shower turning wintry to the north and west of the country. These will be up top of the table within the ECM ensemble day 4, day 10. That's 15th of April from the isolated Metropis. 27 members of the ECM ensembles, including control and the operation run with low pressure right over top of the coast, looking very unsettled and quite cool. Winds in from northwest. And then we've got 13 members of the ECM ensembles with a ridge out to our west, and so with that, bringing the wind from more of a northwesterly direction. So drier and probably a bit on the cool side as well. They've got 11 with high pressure to south and low pressure is to the north, and winds are coming in from more of a westerly direction. So that's the mildest option. Means to the 13 and the 27 are looking unsettled. And the majority option is the 27, of course. That is not only cool, but also quite showery as well. And then 2 weeks' time means the options got basically lots of them. So we have 18 members of the ECM ensembles then with high pressure over top of the country. That'll be very pleasant. 8 with low pressure over and to the east of the country. 7 with high pressure ridging up from the southwest. 6 with high pressure ridging up in the southwest as well. Another 6 with high pressure sent to the north, winds coming in from the east, and another 6, yet another 6 with high pressure a bit further north, and again winds coming in from the east. I would say most of those options are involving high pressure 2 weeks out. So the 18 here, the 7 here, the 6, the 6, and the 6 are all involving high pressure in one form or another. So the trend with the ECM ensembles through the 3rd week of April is definitely to be building in higher pressure. Obviously, the position of the high pressure is subject to change. Right, CFS V2 finally for May. Here we go then. Remember, these charts change daily. Latest idea today from the CFS is to have a blocking area of high pressure in the North Atlantic towards Greenland, and we will be bringing the wind from like a northeasterly direction. With that probably low pressure to the south as well. So that could be rather cool and wet, especially so for more southern parts of the country. Oh dear, the temperature anomaly shows no particular signal, and the precipitation anomaly shows no signal either. And interestingly, this is the sea surface temperature anomaly forecast for May. Notice La Nina starting to get going in the Pacific, but I want to draw your attention to the Atlantic. It's a nice bit of a tripole, maybe warmer there, and of course warm through here. And then could this area be cooler back towards the eastern seaboard? Could that be the CFS forecasting a tripole there into May? Interesting. If you like that kind of thing, sea surface temperature notes and whatnot, we are going to be doing GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup for April this weekend on Sunday, and we'll have an in-depth look at what's going on with sea surface temperature anomalies, along with QBO, AO, NAO, all of the drivers of the weather, and that. We won't include solar data this month, however, as we did Solar Sunday last weekend. Quite interesting. So, GavsWeatherVids Sunday Round on the way this weekend. Okay, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing about 20 subscribers. You get to 18.1k, so please give us a sub. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, I'll just tell you what's happening on the channel over the weekend. Tomorrow, I have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. ECM WF 42-day forecast for the UK and Ireland. There will be the weekend forecast always on Saturday until the 14 days. Sunday, we've got 6 AM forecast. We've got our next summer update. Forgot what number we're up to with that. But the next summer update on the way anyway on Sunday, along with GavsWeatherVids Sunday Round, and we'll be live at 6 PM with the 10 to 14 day. And as it's Sunday live stream, we will of course be including some long range in that as well. You enjoy the rest of your Friday. By the way, channel members, there's going to be a channel member live stream at 6 PM this evening, so please check in if you're a channel member for your April channel member live stream. You enjoy the rest of your Friday, and for this one though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.